Joining us now is Minister and Queensland Senator Murray Watt. Murray, thanks for your time on a busy morning. Look, the cyclone's teasing the whole coast by just delaying and delaying, but how are things outside at the moment from where you are?
Yeah, g'day, Pete. It is a very frustrating cyclone, this one, and crawling its way towards the coast. But we're already starting to see the impacts here in southeast Queensland and over the border as well. The sun's only fairly recently come up here, given we're an hour behind you guys.
Yeah.
But there is a bit of rain coming through Brisbane and the winds are gathering. But I think the Gold Coast and northern New South Wales are experiencing bigger impacts. You will have seen there's already been some pretty heavy rain a bit further south of Brisbane and some power out. And I guess that's a bit of an indication of what we can expect in coming days.
Look, we're both Queenslanders, Murray, and look, I have great concerns for places such as Stradbroke Island, where I go to a bit. You know, there's a lot of older style homes there, and it looks as though the eye of the storm's going to pass over. Not just Straddy, but you know, Moreton Island might be the eye as well. I mean, do you have concerns for those kinds of places that are away from that built-up Brisbane CBD?
Yeah, I certainly do, Pete. And like you, I've spent some fantastic holidays with my family and my parents when I was a kid at Straddy and some of the other islands in Moreton Bay. We are concerned about their welfare, but what I am aware of is that the state government in particular and local councils have put a lot of work in over the last few days, either to encourage people to leave those islands or to make sure that they are fully prepared. Generators have been provided to a number of the Moreton Bay islands and a range of other preparations have been taken as well. But the reality is that none of us can stop this cyclone deciding where it crosses and the level of winds that it might have and rain, of course, after that. So certainly the Moreton Bay Islands is a particular concern, but I'm confident that the authorities have done everything they can to be ready and assist people there.
Yeah, and it's probably a good thing. I mean, if this happens, it's likely to be downgraded, according to Rob, you know, but, you know, Category 1, that's still going to bring a tremendous amount of rain, and there's the flooding that comes after that, like you say. Do you think preparations are as good as they could be in southeast Queensland, also northern New South Wales, you know, with your hat as, you know, former Emergency Services Minister on?
Yeah, I've been really impressed by the level of preparation from all levels of government and also from local community members, Pete. Jenny McAllister, the new Emergency Minister, has been doing a fantastic job coordinating efforts with different levels of the government, but we've seen any sort of political differences put aside and people are cooperating well. Northern New South Wales as well, I'm obviously not quite as close to what's going on there, but my observations are that they've been doing a good job. There's been a lot of pre-positioning of assets. You will have seen that we have already pre-positioned some of the aircraft that we've provided by expanding the national aerial fleet to make them available. So, yeah, from everything I've seen, the authorities have done a very good job preparing. And the sandbag depots I've been to and other sort of things around town, lots of people are out there getting organised, which is really good to see.
All right, I do want to get your response. Perrin Davies done an interview and the opposition here, it has not ruled out cuts to NEMA, that's the National Emergency Management Agency, wouldn't rule it in or rule it out when asked about it. Have you got a thought on that?
Yeah, I just think it's extraordinary, Pete, that as southeast Queensland and northern New South Wales face potentially one of the most significant natural disasters we've seen in decades, that the opposition won't rule out making job cuts at the National Emergency Management Agency. It's an extraordinary statement. It was the Albanese government that formed NEMA, the National Emergency Management Agency, and that was in recognition that following the Morrison government's absolute debacle around emergency management, we needed a stronger approach nationally. We have employed more people in NEMA to make sure that we have the national coordination that Australians desperately wanted. And now the opposition won't rule out making job cuts.
Okay.
I mean, the timing of this is incredible. I would have thought right now is the time to be giving people assurance that they'll have federal government support rather than talking about taking it away.
Okay, well, that assurance has just come from the opposition now. To me, we've said time and time again, no frontline services will be cut. NEMA doesn't get much more frontline than that. So is that a satisfactory response?
This just shows you the lack of understanding from the opposition about what NEMA does. There are hundreds of NEMA personnel who sit in back rooms doing vital work. They are not out there on the streets doing things right now. They're actually doing the kind of coordination across the states and across the local governments, organising the aircraft that is needed, organising the sandbags that are needed and were provided by the federal government. These are exactly the kind of jobs that would be at risk from Peter Dutton's cuts, as they would be in other departments like health, education, elsewhere.
But if there's not going to be cuts, though, are you creating something here? Are you creating something that's not there?
No, I mean, the Shadow Emergency Management Minister had the opportunity to rule out job cuts in NEMA and has refused to rule those out. As I say, I think right now, southeast Queenslanders and northern New South Wales residents are looking to their federal government support. They're not looking to be made further worried by the idea of job cuts at the time that we very much need them.
We've got to leave it there. Murray, thanks for your time this morning.